Tip number 210 from the book 501 Contractor Tips. I should probably read my own tips. I already covered this in the previous 2 videos. But it is listing overhead in your estimates. Basically, don't, it's going to look like you're nickel and diming your clients if you don't list everything in one overhead. That's it. Don't have it in separate categories. And if this number is a large number, you know, let's say you're started out in business, you really don't know what it is, and you say, you know what, I'm going to charge them 20%. You might not be getting the job, you know. So you might need to reduce these numbers. And you are going to find jobs too where people are going to say, hey, I'm not paying that. Take it out. I'm not going to pay 10% for tools you've already purchased. You're going to have to deal with that. You know, how you deal with that, I'm going to leave that up to you. The more you can stick to your guns, the better off you're going to be. And this is where you need to have some type of a sales pitch where you can actually explain what the overhead is. You know, someone comes up and says, what's this? You have it down here, it's 12%. 12% on $200,000 is, oh crap, 12% on $200,000 would be $24,000. Hey, you might not need $24,000 and they might not want to pay $24,000. If you are going to charge someone $24,000, you'd better be able to explain every possible reason why they are going to incur these charges. Now, if these costs are a necessity and you seem to have a problem with them, it's too much. The homeowner looks at it and says, I ain't paying that. It's not on the other 2 contractors' proposals. Then you might need to put that money somewhere else. You might need to split it up into other categories on the estimate, into the materials, into something else. If you don't, you're going to be making less money. You know, it's plain and simple. If you don't get the money right now for this stuff, and you don't have it in a reserve, some type of reserve, and something happens, then all this money comes out of your profit. And that means that you're going to be making less money. So you might have to get a little creative with this. And when I say a little creative, I'm not talking about getting over creative. I know people who get a little carried away with this stuff. And it's just not necessary. You're in business to make money, but you're not in business to rip people off. And the last thing you want to do is be known as the contractor who is ripping people off. You're taking advantage of them. I mean, really, the worst thing you can do as a contractor, but I've seen plenty of contractors do this, is tell other people, including other contractors, how much money you're making and how you're screwing people. Hey, I just did this and I wrote this down. Look at that, you know. I made a lot of money and you know, they didn't get much. You know, you can't do that. You know, if you are that kind of a person, keep it to yourself. There's no need to share that with other people, especially if you're trying to be perceived as someone who's honest. You know, that doesn't lead to it. And I've got to say, most people who do that, they can't help themselves. They go in there and they ask. Yeah, I mean, they tell people what they did, and I shake my head time and time again. What are you doing? Why are you saying that? You know? So, okay, I know that didn't have much to do with tip number 210, but what can I say? I already covered tip number 210 in the previous 2 videos. So, very important overhead thing. It can be a deal breaker with your clients. So if you start to lose jobs because these percentages are a little high, or people are looking at that number and saying, I just don't want to pay it, then you're going to have to get a little creative and maybe spread it out amongst other things, other parts of the job.